Now in AC series circuit, what we have, all the elements which are connected in series across the source. Now in AC parallel circuit, we know that there will be a parallel branches, right? Now here in AC parallel circuit, the parallel branches is may have the combination of resistance inductor, RL, RC, RLC, or only any element from that. Maybe only R, only inductor L, only capacitance C. So this may be present in the parallel branches. And this branch when connected parallelly to each other, so this circuit becomes AC parallel circuit. Right? It has two or more series circuits connected in parallel with each other across a common alternating voltage source V. Each, each series branch is called the each series circuit is called a branch in the parallel circuit. Right? So let us hear an example of this series circuit that we can have. In this first branch, we can have the resistor R1, inductance L1. This is branch 1, where current flowing is I1. Branch 2, resistance R2, inductance L2, capacitance C2. This is branch 2, current flowing is I2. And branch 3, there will be only resistance R3 and capacitance C3. This is branch 3 and current flowing is I3. Now, these are the three branches. In these branches, there will be a series combination of any of the elements. Then these three branches which are connected across a common voltage source, that is V, that you may consider V is equal to Vm sin omega t, as it is a alternating supply. So total current, that will be I, which is equal to the addition of I1 plus I2 plus I3. This is a vector addition, not the arithmetic addition. In AC circuit, always remember there is a vector addition. So this is the current that we can apply. This is the point where we can apply Kirchhoff's current law, right? This is the point where four branches of currents are meeting. I1, I is the incoming, right? Then I1, I2 and I3, these all three currents are outgoing. So incoming current is equal to outgoing current. So that's why I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. So this is the KCL equation at this particular node. Right? Now, let us derive some parameters for this parallel AC circuits. So we just have I1, I2, I3. These are the current flowing through each branches respectively. Therefore, we can have the expression for this I1, I2, I3 in terms of the Ohm's law. So I is equal to V by Z, that we already derived, right? So I1 is equal to V by Z1. So for this first branch, I1 is equal to V by Z1. Now what is Z1? Z1 is the combination of this resistance R1 and inductance L1. Right? So we can commonly call it as a Z. Right? So this is the combination that we can have Z1. In the next diagram, I think it is there. Z1, Z2, Z3. We can simply represent the above circuit by this circuit, where Z1 is equal to what? R1 plus J XL1. So it becomes like that in rectangular form. So I1 is equal to V by Z1, I2 is equal to V by Z2, and I3 is equal to V by Z3. Look at that here, where Z1 is equal to R1 plus JXL1 in rectangular form for this first branch, because in series. For Z2, R2 plus J XL2 minus XC2, because inductor, capacitor both are present, so it becomes series RLC circuit. And Z3 is equal to R3 minus JX3 for this third branch. So this is how we can write for Z1, Z2 and Z3. These are the three impedances. Applying KCL and using the phasor addition. So as I already told you, I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. This is the phasor addition. Right? Substituting these values, so we can have I is equal to V by Z. This is the total current in the circuit. I1 is V, here it should be V, not Z. V by Z1. I2 is V by Z2 and I3 is V by Z3. So we can have common voltage in the left hand side and right hand side. So we can have 1 by Z is equal to 1 by Z1 plus 1 by Z2 plus 1 by Z3. This is the equivalent impedance of the parallel circuit. If n branches are connected in parallel, then we equivalent impedance will have 1 by Z. This we can say the equivalence impedance is equal to 1 by Z1 plus 1 by Z2 plus dash plus 1 by Z. So this is the equivalent impedance for this AC parallel circuit. If you observe this, so this is very similar to the resistance connected in parallel, right? So we can have 1 by R equivalent, that is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. So this is like that, right? 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus that dash plus 1 by R. So this is very similar to the resistance connected in parallel. We can have this derivation for equivalent impedance for AC parallel circuit. So hope you understood it. Then concept of admittance. Admittance is reciprocal of impedance. So very simple. Admittance is the opposite of impedance. It is denoted by Y and measured in Siemens. It is like a conductance, right? Impedance is opposition to the flow of current. So admittance will is the flow of current. So its unit is like a conductance. You know, the unit of conductance is Siemens. So here the unit of admittance is also Siemens. It is denoted by capital Y and measured in Siemens. So 1 Siemens is defined as the admittance of a network having an impedance of 1, right? Then 1 Siemens. Look at that. The impedances are connected is equivalent to admittance are in series. When impedances are connected in parallel, then their equivalent circuit is what? The admittances are connected in series. So we can have this impedance Z1, Z2 and Z3, then I1, I2, I3. This is what the current through this impedance is. Then the similar circuit we can represent in terms of admittance, but only the thing is that the admittances are connected in series. How this is true? Then we can prove by this expression. Admittance is what? Reciprocal of impedance denoted by Y and unit is Siemens. And the equivalent impedances connected in parallel. So admittances are connected in series. Why in series? So we can prove by this expression. Referring to above first equation, then we can have the total current I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. This is the phasor addition. Then substituting the values of I1, I2 and I3 in the above expression. So we can have this I is equal to V by Z1 plus V by Z2 plus V by Z3, right? By using the definition of admittance is what? Admittance Y is equal to 1 by Z, because it is a reciprocal of impedance. So Y is equal to 1 by Z. So we can put the value of 1 by Z1 is Y1, 1 by Z2 is Y2, 1 by Z3 is Y3. So taking common as V, then I is equal to V in bracket Y1 plus Y2 plus Y3. Then the total effect, that this total Y is equal to what? Y1 plus Y2 plus Y3. Or we can have here also I is equal to V by, here also I is equal to V by Z total. So we can have total voltage is common. Then 1 by Z is equal to 1 by Z1 plus 1 by Z2 plus 1 by Z3. In putting Y is equal to 1 by Z. So we can have Y is equal to Y1 plus Y2 plus Y3. So that's why the impedances is connected in parallel, which is equivalent to admittances connected in series. Then last, the definition of conductance and susceptance. Just like in the impedance, there are two combinations, there are two parameters, resistance and reactance. So similarly, in admittances, there are also two parameters. One is called the conductance and other is called the susceptance. What you can pronounce SUSCEPTANC, susceptance. Consider the expression for impedance in the rectangular form. Z is equal to R plus minus JX. We know that impedance in the rectangular form, Z is equal to R plus minus JX. Therefore, the admittance is given by Y is equal to 1 by Z or Z inverse, that is equal to 1 by R plus minus JX. So we can put it here. Then rationalize the expression for Y. So rationalizing above expression, so we can have multiplication of R minus plus JX divided by R minus plus JX. Then we can have on the numerator R minus plus JX, on the denominator R square plus X square. So there will be a multiplication. So it becomes R square plus X square on the denominator side. Then separating this term, so R divided by R square plus X square minus plus J X divided by R square plus X square. So this is what the admittance, right? And then therefore it is given by Y is equal to G minus plus JB, where G is the conductance in Siemens, and that is given by R square plus X square, this term. So this term we are representing by G, and this term we are representing by B. So B is the susceptance in Siemens. It is equal to X by R square plus R square plus X square. Now again we have R square plus X square is what? Mod of Z. So we can simply have this term is R by Z. And similarly for the second term we can have X by Z. So this is the conductance and susceptance measured in Siemens, and whose formula is R by Z for conductance and X by Z for susceptance, denoted by G and denoted by B. So we can just remember this one. So as per this these formulas, we can define the conductance. It is a ratio of resistance to the square impedance. Sorry, here we are getting some
Z square pi.
Here the Z square pi. We can have Z square, not mod of Z. It is only have Z square. When it is a magnitude, then we can have mod of Z. So R by Z square, X by Z square. So conductance is resistance to the square impedance, the ratio, that is G is equal to R by Z square, where Z square is equal to R square plus X square. Then susceptance we have the ratio of reactance to the square impedance and measured in Siemens. So B is equal to X by Z square. Okay, now what about the polarity? The susceptance can be inductive or capacitive depending on the type of circuit and the polarity of X. Here opposite of impedance C for Z, R plus minus JX minus X for capacitive reactance and plus for inductive. Here it will be opposite. Look at that. G is equal to Y is equal to G minus plus JX. So it will be opposite. For conductance, sorry, the inductive circuit it will be positive, and for capacitive circuit it will be negative because of opposite to impedance. So this is the definition of conductance and susceptance. Then admittance in terms of the rectangular form and the polar form. So we can have in rectangular form Y is equal to G minus plus JB, and in the polar form Y, that is equal to mod of Y at an angle phi, where mod of Y is equal to under root of G square plus B square, and phi is equal to tan inverse of B by G. So same ways that we have derived for impedance. Sign convention for susceptance. Polarity positive, negative. Reactance X inductive, then it will be positive. Capacitive, then positive polarity for susceptance. Right? Sorry, for reactance, if it is inductive, we know the positive, but if it is a susceptance, then it will be capacitive circuit for capacitor. Then opposite of that, in reactance for impedance, if it is a negative, then the circuit becomes capacitive, and if there is a susceptance, then it will be inductive. So this is the summary. And at last, the admittance triangle. So we'll just represent each side by the conductance, susceptance, and the admittance. So if we can have an inductive susceptance, then base side represent the conductance G, adjacent side represent the inductive susceptance BL, and hypotenuse will be admittance G minus GB for inductive. For capacitive, Y is equal to G plus JB, where the base side will be conductance, adjacent side will be capacitive susceptance, and hypotenuse will be admittance. So this is the admittance triangle for parallel AC circuits. So that's all about it.